Hi, my name's Zack with Northland Outdoors, and today we're going to give you a few tips and tricks on how to manage weeds in your mulch beds. So what you want to do first is make sure you place your edger up against the grass. You don't want to go too far because over the years you'll just keep making the beds bigger and bigger. So you want to put your edger right here, nice and firm, and drive it straight down. Then put your foot flush up against the edger and push as you lift up. In doing so, you take all of the debris out of the hole, you pull it up into here so it's out of your way, and then you can see I've started a nice, clean, straight edge to allow the mulch to fall back down right in here and keep the turf barrier. Now that we've edged everything, next we're going to take just a regular leaf rake, and we're going to stand on the outside, and all you have to do is take your rake, just the corner, and you can pull all of this up, just like this. You just run right around the bed, you just pull that little extra bit of material out, so that way when you do go to mulch, you're not fighting with it. You want to definitely see this nice edge line in here, so that's the aesthetic, is to see mulch drop right into this edge and then have a nice clean line for the turf. It only takes a few seconds. Then you can take all of your extra debris and make piles. One thing you definitely want to watch out for though is when you pull the mulch, you don't want to have a big mound at the base of the tree. What will happen is it's called a mulch volcano. All of these will mound up and you'll actually heat the tree from the inside and eventually it'll die. Now we're going to remove what material we have left over to make sure that it's not mounding and we can put fresh mulch on without it growing in size over the years. So the next step, and probably the most important, is to mechanically pull the weeds. And the best way to do that is a lot of people will grab a weed like this and they'll get what they can from it. But what you really need to do is get in as deep as possible and pull the actual roots of the weed out. So you want to get a nice grip, pull straight up, and you see how there's still remnants? You can actually grab the base of that and once again pull all the roots out of it so it doesn't keep growing. And then you can use your hand just like this to kind of blend it back in and see where other blades of grass or weeds might be hidden in the mulch you just shoveled. So now that we've walked through everything and kind of disturbed the bed, the next thing to do is to take your leaf rake that you used before and flip it upside down. This technique is called finish raking. Once again, don't step in the bed, but you can extend your arms and just pull. And all you're doing right now is just kind of evening all the mulch out, so when you go to put your fresh set of mulch down, you're not having all these humps everywhere and it looks more aesthetically pleasing. So in review, what we've done so far is we've created a mechanical edging to create a barrier between the turf and the bed. We've now removed the excess debris and got as much of the weeding as we can. Next step is to trim everything to keep the turf and the grass from encroaching onto the bed, blow everything down, and then the final step is mulch. Eyeglasses and earplugs work well. If you have prescription glasses or sunglasses, that work as well. You just want to try and mitigate the amount of debris that gets into your eyes, because the way that the trimmer works is it will discharge to the left, but when you're vertically trimming, which we're going to show you later, you can kick up debris towards yourself or towards others. So when we do trim, like I said, it's going to all go to the left. So what you want to do is stand here first. That way you're not blowing grass back into the bed that you just weeded. So as you can tell, obviously some turf clippings will get into the bed. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't control wind and everything else like that. But if you try and stay on this side and discharge away, you'll probably reduce the amount of turf debris that gets into your beds by about 90%. Next step we're gonna do is we're actually gonna vertically trim it. In vertically trimming it, what's gonna happen is we're gonna take all the turf that starts to encroach over the edge and actually trim it all away. And then the last step would be to blow and mulch. Like this, sometimes when you lift it up in the air, it will die off just because of the way you're moving the fuel. Just go ahead and start it again. And remember, when you're trimming, the debris is going to go in that direction, so you never want to face it towards cars or anything else like that. Last step, as far as landscaping goes, is to now blow off any debris that you generated from trimming it and everything else. So very lightly and deliberately what you want to do is just take this, just trying to get that light debris out of the bed. It's never going to be perfect, but once again, you're just trying to do the best you can to get as much of that turf debris out. Now the only thing left to do is to mulch it. And then when you're mulching it, you want to make sure that you do a nice even light coating. If this is a new bed, you want to do 2 to 3 inches. If this is just for aesthetic purposes, you can just spread it at a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and 1 inch max. You don't want to over mulch an area because you're just going to keep building it up, and once again you can damage whatever perennials or trees or what have you that are in your mulch beds. So to review, the best way to try to manage your beds at your own home is to edge everything, trim it weekly, and then also to bag your grass. If you're mowing around all these mulch beds and you're side discharging or not bagging your grass, all of that cut grass and turf debris will eventually float into the beds and can create more weeds for you. So make sure you trim your beds, bag your grass, mechanically weed when you can by pulling the root.